I'm doing my best here with what I got. Because I so passionately care about this music. I've had to learn all this. It's so hard in this world to find people to work with that are passionate and ethical with good morals. You can find that, and usually when someone's got talent, they start letting that stuff slip. I can't do that. You know, this is a gift I'm supposed to share. So, I hope you guys like this album and everything into it. Just wanted to give a quick rundown. So I set the drums up, and this little apparatus here is because I didn't have a short enough mic stand. So I rested a mic stand on something and put a weight on it. This is a tube condenser right here. It's running down. Let me see, this is the V69. The V69 got together with Gami to make this remodel here. It's limited edition, and it's a tube mic. I'll get a picture of that later when I'm done recording. Here's a Shure SM7B. I just took the filter off of it. I took the filter off everything except for the kick drum. There's a lot of wind on the kick drum, and I left that one on because the cymbals were really rinsing in, so I left that one on and it was perfect. That microphone right there is pretty amazing. Anyway, I'm running SM58 on the kick. I'm running a Shure Beta 87A for the room mic. That mic is an amazing vocal mic for live performances in an acoustic type style. Maybe not a lot of sound pressure, but look at this drum set. Super simple. These are hydraulic heads, and I like the head of the drums to be higher so the toms really ring. And because they're hydraulic, they don't ring as much. Some of them needed tape, some of them didn't. They're very old. These drum heads are incredibly old. I got a simple Evans on there. This is the original kick front. No, this one isn't the original one. No, this is the secondary side purchase kick front with a professional hole mount here. I like these ones because it has reinforcement around there, and that reinforcement stops the drum from ringing weird and vibrating. And the hard plastic ones come loose and vibrate, and if it's just a hole, it tears or stretches, and when it stretches, that little piece vibrates. Or if the tension's uneven, it vibrates. So that's a good front kick. And then I filled it up with wool blankets, and I've got the mic centered about 2 inches off the kick drum, right down there. You look inside. So I've got the mic pointed just to the side, you know. Let me show you guys this. So over here on the snare, I've actually got right there and there, I've got a little duct tape holding down this fake gold chain. It's really interesting. I get a deeper sound over here. I get a little more of a thuddy sound with almost a top snare sound on this side if I hit closer to there. It's really cool. It's really cool. It brings a snare chain to the top head as well. I've never quite done it that way before, but it really blew me away. It gives it a really, really cool sound. And that's because I needed something more. These two drum heads, I don't have the money to change any of this stuff. All the drum heads are old, so instead of fighting with what I had to record, I've been focused on getting the best sound that I can. That's why I'm using my favorite mic that I own for reasons. Bugami Edition by MXL V69. It's a limited edition release. this particular one. I really enjoy it. They've gone through the extra trouble. Oops. Case. If you're gonna drop something, drop the case, not the mic. They've gone through the trouble, and the wiring on this thing is just impeccable. I don't know if you can see that, but there's the tube. Beautiful tube. Oh man, it goes great. MXL makes this tube right here. I forget the number. Forgive me. So I've got the tube set up over the microphone, and I've got it set as low as I could. But what I wanted to do, and what I realized I really needed to do once I started getting the mics out, and this is part of the recording process when you get in the room and you realize there's you've got limitations, right? So I've got limitations because of this particular recording. I also wanted to build a dark, rich corner over here with a bunch of sound baffling type materials and other harder structures behind it that can help reflect the sound so that it doesn't come back at this side of the drum set. And the reason I wanted that there is because I wanted these high brights to hit the microphone and not come back and reflect. That's also why the blanket's there in the tapestry. That tapestry is paper thin, but it is, you know, like, it's a cloth, not paper thin, it's a little thicker than that, but it's a cloth, probably like a tablecloth, if you will. It's printed over, it doesn't have any sheen on the front, so it's basically like a gloss, and it's also a gloss on the sound reflector there. So it's just drywall, just some drywall, and that thin thing, we're good. And then I've got everything that I could over there, you know, and when I put that instrument over there, I like that the cello can ring. I like that the cello can vibrate and bring something to it. And I'm turning the mics up. I am actually able to hear that sort of stuff in this mix. Now I'm using, for the mixer, I'm just reading these to you because I've had so much gear. I know what I have now, but I have so much gear that sometimes the numbers, if I just quote them from my head, they're off, because you know these days everything has a number, 6,000, 10,000, whatever. All right, this is a Pro FX10 V, yeah, version 10. This is a 10-channel professional effects mixer with USB. This is made by Mackie. I got that. It has amazing headroom. I gotta say there's a bit of a static when you turn the headphones up or the mix up on some of these. Most of those Mackie ones go all the way up too high. If you're getting it to use as your recording interface, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. If it's the best that you can get out of the recording interface, because you need a lot of microphone hookups and you can deal with that with some plugins, go for it. You know, that's what I did. That's why I got it. But if I could push you in any direction at all, I'd say get yourself an analog hard face like the SSL or the UAD, the UAD. I'm using the Apollo X. I like the extra drive and processing for the plugins, and you actually need it because they're tax heavy. But I would have got the 4-channel because it's all held together in one unit. You don't need something else. I can expand and add to this. So I settled with this because of money. But I would have got the 4-channel on hindsight because I use between 3 or 4 mics essentially every time, and sometimes I could stereo those down and use up to 8 mono plugins, you know. So hit the 4-channel. It also expands. I think it turns into 15 channels or something. This one turns into like 10. Pretty awesome. So for the cymbals, I've got an Avedis custom. Somebody gave me this custom, and it was cracked. And so I very carefully rounded out a centimeter or so out in front of the crack. After, you know, inspecting it with a magnifying glass and everything to see that the crack didn't end, and that, you know, not accidentally drill a circle and the cracks all the way across the circle I drilled. So as I played it, it would continue to tear. And and I drilled it slow, and I, you know, made sure to sand it and polish it and clean the edges of it when it's cut. And then it was like a really thin V. I wasn't quite liking the sound. The tongues of it that I created in the air was giving a really weird hiss sound, just so happened. So I kept widening it, and then I noticed that I was changing the pitch of the cymbal quite a bit. So that's why I cut these two corners off up here. Well, I wanted to round them off, but then I was like liking removing this much, and so I removed a little more, and it made it just a little brighter. And then when it started, it sounds perfect, so I stopped doing anything to it. It sounds so good. I didn't even go back and sand it. I'm feeling how rough it is, but I don't play that side. The cymbal actually stays like this because that little tiny piece is missing. It's really weird. If I'm playing it, it goes right back. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's wavering back and forth. It's really beautiful for this spot. Over here I've got another Avedis Custom. This is a 16-inch on my left. This is an 18-inch / 45 centimeters. This one is 16 / 40 centimeters. These Avedis Zildjian Custom crashes are amazing. They both just say crash on them, by the way. I know there's different types. I just wanted to let you guys know. Over here I'm using a Sabian AAX metal hi-hat. Now, I got these because they're so bright. They're really bright, and when you're playing soft on them, they give you a lot of click. I know a lot of people are worried about that. They're like, whoa, it's so overpowering. In the room, it sounds awesome. What is hard is capturing the sound that our ears so naturally give us, you know? So I set this up, oh yeah, I forgot to mention one thing. Let me show you this. The gold chain. So I've seen a video of people putting stuff on there, and I don't want a rattly sound. I like the chain just barely rattles right by the rim, if you can see that right there. I've got it set out of the way on the side of the snare that I don't really play. And when I put that on there, it took away my need to really mute it, and it leaves, like, down here, it leaves more of a loud pop area, and over here I get this like muffled sound, and it's really cool, all inside there. I've never done that before. I've done it with tape and pads and stuff, but I've never added anything like that. And whenever I added that, I noticed that I was getting a cool little metal tingly sizzle, but only when I had them set here. So I taped them down to be in that position. All right guys, so in this section, I'm just gonna play the drums for a second. I'm gonna switch from the audio of the phone over to the UAD device where all these microphones are going, and then back. Now, I haven't done much of a mix, so, and I'm not going to like go crazy. You're actually just hearing straight from this board. I have a little bit of compression, very little, on this one and this one, because they are the hottest, I would say. No compression on the other two. They're all coming in. I've just rolled back some of the EQ on some of those channels. There's no effects being added over here at all. Right now you're hearing the audio from the phone. Hello, testing, this is the phone audio. So here we go. Here goes the drums just from the phone, and at some point I'll switch it over. I'm sure you'll be able to tell the difference. Here we go.